Hello folks, today is Friday, February 17th, 2023. As usual, my name is Jake Baldino, here to talk about all the video game news this week. We got a lot of stuff. That was my first accidental clap because I talk with my hands. Let's just jump in. A lot of stuff. The first big story involves Hogwarts Legacy and it possibly being a sales juggernaut. Now, we don't have all the facts and figures yet, but it has made headlines, and it is worth acknowledging that GamesIndustry.biz is reporting that Hogwarts Legacy's first week digital sales in Europe were 56% higher than Elden Ring's. Elden Ring, of course, as you guys probably know, is by far the biggest selling From Software game and was one of the bigger selling games of the year. So although we don't have exact numbers for anything yet, that 56% jump from Elden Ring first week, digital only, is already a pretty big indicator that Hogwarts Legacy is going to be one of the bigger selling games of the year. This is UK sales, of course, so my dumb brain just thinks that everybody in the UK buys the Harry Potter game because they all talk the same. I'm sorry, dumb joke aside, like I said, we still need a lot more from this. We need physical sales. We need a picture of sales in other territories, but that's the update. I saw a lot of people running and freaking out about that, the people who like to play the sales game type of thing. So that's really the update. The other interesting thing that made headlines this week that I wanted to talk about is the fact that there are 5 Lord of the Rings projects in the works, according to Embracer Group. As you guys know, Embracer Group last year gobbled up Lord of the Rings, and we now know from one of their presentations, they had like a slideshow and stuff, there are 5 Lord of the Rings games coming. Now that sounds really exciting, but it's worth pointing out that we already knew about 4 of them. There's the Lord of the Rings Gollum game, that poor game that just keeps getting delayed because nobody wants to play as that sad little gray man. Also, there's Lord of the Rings Return to Moria, which is a thing that was announced a while back. We knew about that. You like that pronunciation? Moria. My cousin Balin. No, sorry. There's an EA mobile game, and then there's a Weta game from Take-Two, which is in the works. But then there's a mystery, one other one. We don't know what it is. There's talk that there was like a rumor about a Lord of the Rings Online console version or like a relaunch of that, but we don't really know. And also, what's exciting about this is that this it's worth pointing out that this is just Embracer external stuff. Embracer now owns a bunch of studios and they own the IP, so they could be cooking on their own games internally. It seems like there's just going to be a lot of Lord of the Rings games, and I don't mind that at all. Like there was a time where we were getting a bunch of Lord of the Rings games either based on the book or like adapted from parts of the movie, and like that would be cool to have that again. Middle Earth is really just a place I want to be, you know, but there are plenty of other places out there, other worlds in sci-fi or fiction that haven't gotten enough love. So if there was another series or world or something that you wish got like a 5, 6, 7, 8 game treatment, what would it be? Let me know. I feel like that would be a fun conversation and maybe a good idea for another video. Hey, next up, this episode is brought to you by Opera GX. This is a browser designed for gamers. We've been using it for a long time. We know some of you have as well, so this was like a no-brainer to get the word out more. So many browsers out there are boring. They're just painfully generic and don't really give you any uses or benefits or improvements. But Opera GX was designed with PC gamers in mind and is loaded with cool and actually useful features. It's slick. It's highly customizable with wallpapers, themes, and colors, so you can tweak it to match your PC and desktop style. And it's so accessible. It has so many nice integrations like messenger apps, specifically Discord, Twitch integration, and Opera GX has GX Corner. This lets you keep up with a curated list of free games, deals, and new releases in one clean spot, and you can sort and organize it, and it's just easy to use and great at a glance. There is a new feature in the GX Corner where people who download the browser through our link will see the latest 12 videos from gameranx, and the list will update as we upload new videos. I know switching browsers can be a pain if you're in deep, but thankfully, Opera GX has an easy import tool that lets you really quickly import all your settings to GX, like browsing history, bookmarks, and cookies. Oh, and also GX is also available on mobile, so it's like a really nice little companion. They went hard with this browser, players love it, and miraculously, it's not a resource hog. Join the millions of gamers optimizing their setup by downloading it for free by clicking our link in the description down below. Go check it out, it helps out the show, it's a good browser, and big thanks to Opera GX for sponsoring this video. And then on the deep industry side news, of course, the regulators are still going through all the Xbox, Activision, Blizzard acquisition stuff. We've talked about it over and over again with every little update, with one of the UK's regulatory agencies last week or so coming out pretty, so far, not super into the deal and suggesting maybe they shouldn't involve Call of Duty in the deal. We talked about all that, but what also has come from these UK regulatory meetings is a pretty interesting quote that Xbox Game Pass is indeed cannibalizing regular game sales of Xbox games. Now, this kind of is a little bit separate from what Phil Spencer and other Xbox heads have said in the past, that is not the case, because now in a government court filing, the notes say Microsoft also submitted that its internal analysis shows a blank percentage decline in basic game sales 12 months following their addition on Game Pass. Now, that redacted sales percentage could be anything. It could be 10%, it could be 1%, but either way, it's still significant of something. Also, a reasonable person would think, if stuff was available on Xbox Game Pass and 25 million or so people are subscribed to Xbox Game Pass, they're just going to play it on that and not go buy the game. So, yeah, it's just another line in an ongoing series of things as these companies talk to regulators, and it's almost like all the companies are trying to downplay themselves to not make them look like they're gobbling up too many companies. Sony has said things, Microsoft has said things where they just kind of seem like they're the little guy, but the reality is none of them are. Anyway, if you want to read up on the boring business type stuff, everything I talk about, all the sources and stuff, will be linked in the description down below. In some news that just dropped that really excites me personally, if you watch my other YouTube channel, Jake Baldino, you might know this. I don't really reveal it here, but I am a big Civilization fan, and we're getting another one. Big surprise. Firaxis is making another one of the games that they always make. But still, hearing it officially that they're working on it is great. Civ 7 is in the works, and it's from a new leader. It's one of the people who headed up the more recent DLC expansion stuff, so that's a good thing. The way I look at it, with the last couple of Civ games, I could have just stuck with those and played those pretty endlessly, but I'm always excited for something new, and a good old Civ 4X stylish game is something I could use right now, but that's just me. What do you want from Civ 7? Do you have any expectations or anything? Let me know. Along with that, in terms of games officially being in the works, a new Metro game. In 2020, the studio did say, hey, yeah, we're going to work on the next one, but now Insider Gaming is reporting through sources, so take it all with a grain of salt. This is technically still a rumor, but that the game is well in the works. It's already in a playable state and moving along, and we might actually hear an announcement of it this year. The inside sources also just describe it basically as another Metro game with stealth, combat, exploration type of stuff you'd expect, and suggests maybe a tentative 2024 release. Another small update worth pointing out, Sega released a financial report where they talked about Sonic Frontiers exceeding expectations in sales. It surpassed their estimates, and Sega also kind of alluded to the fact that the next Sonic game will have a much bigger budget, which is great. That was honestly my biggest complaint of Sonic Frontiers, where I liked how they figured out a lot of the gameplay stuff. It just seemed kind of undercooked and underloved, where Sonic is this big, massive property. It's taken the world by storm, even new generations with the new Sonic movies, and then the game felt kind of cheap and rushed. As much as I actually kind of liked it, and some people think that we're crazy here at gameranx, the next one could be much, much better with more production value. Next up, we got a bunch of cool things I linked in the description down below to show you. The first is a new trailer for Pacific Drive. I'd say put this one on your radar. It's like a first-person car driving adventure with a sci-fi kind of spin, and it's hard to explain, but I'd say just watch the trailers for yourself, because this is one I am highly anticipating. Just because it's a little something different. We're always complaining about the same things or remakes or whatever. This is fresh. Also, we linked an article from IGN who did a great job corroborating and collecting a bunch of stuff that some Reddit sleuths have put together and unearthed information and photographs of a 1999 Smash tournament. This was one of the first Super Smash tournaments and was totally forgotten by time. Took place in Las Vegas. The photos are pretty wild. So shout out to the Reddit people who put the work in to find this. Absolutely awesome stuff. I'm just about stuff like that, but then also I feel like I become the old lady from Titanic. That's a bad example. Maybe I become like how Matt Damon turns into old Matt Damon in Saving Private Ryan. I guess I just think of myself as a grandma. But also, we're linking in the description down below. It goes up on Saturday, so the link won't be there immediately, but I'm putting out a before you buy for Like a Dragon Ishin. It's very good. I like the Like a Dragon or Yakuza games very much, and this one was one I was really looking forward to because of the different time period and a fresh take, and it delivered on my expectations. We also did a before you buy for for Wild Hearts. This is the kind of EA and Dynasty Warriors people spin on Monster Hunter, and it seems like it's pretty dope. Falcon and the team really liked it. It's another one where I look and I go, man, I wish I had time for that. There's not enough time and money to play all the games. Also, Returnal is dropping on PC, and it seems like in the state of PC ports lately been kind of rough. Returnal seems to be a pretty solid port. So if you want to check that out, I linked ACG's review in the description. He does a great job, as always. Respect, brother. And also, we have linked a new trailer for Midnight Suns, like Venom and some content being added to the game. The portrayal of Venom and everything in the main game of Midnight Suns was really cool. And now what they're doing here with Eddie Brock on the team, and you can play as Venom and the different skins, I'm just about it. Oh, and then another thing to link from IGN, because they've had the exclusive coverage for Star Wars Jedi Survivor. There's a little bit of a breakdown of the combat stances, which is very cool. There's a handful of them, and it's like single-bladed, double-bladed, cross-guard stance that is like a heavier lightsaber, a blaster one, which they didn't show too much of, but just cool Star Wars game stuff to look forward to there. Oh, and a trailer for an Apple TV Plus movie starring Taron Egerton about Tetris. The making of Tetris, and the whole wild story of how it became a popular game. It is a really crazy story. This trailer looks like it's really amping it up, but still, it's fascinating either way, and it just looks like a good, solid watch. So I linked that trailer down there. But in terms of other stories, I gotta highlight the fact that Dead Island 2 is not delayed. For once. It's actually the opposite of delayed. They undelayed it. They moved it up. Dead Island 2 is now actually releasing a week early. It's dropping April 21st, 2023. And in a nice update, just something to gas me up for the weekend, is the fact that Alan Wake 2 is seemingly coming along nicely. Now, granted, it's from the people who are working on the game, but they said that the game, like the development, has reached the stage where the game can be played completely from start to finish. It is in full production, in their quotes. The game will soon have all content in place, and then we will move on to polishing the experience. It seems like they've been at this one for a while, longer than we've known about it officially, and I'm really excited to see more from it this year, because we need more. Like Sam Lake and Remedy had said, it's going for like survival horror, so like there's so much to it. I just love these types of games. I like Remedy games, so yeah. But hey, that's the stuff we got going on this week. We got to go back to work because, as you probably know, there's more games releasing next week as well. So let me know what you think about everything down in the comments. The Hogwarts Legacy sales, does it surprise you? Is nostalgia a hell of a drug for game sales? Let me know what you think about the Xbox Game Pass cannibalizing regular traditional game sales thing, if you're into that businessy type news. All the trailers and stuff I linked this week, let me know if you're going to be jumping into Wild Hearts or Like a Dragon Ishin. Of course, we're going to have a pinned comment. The pinned comment might actually have the sponsor of the show's link, but in that thread, let us know what you're playing this week. It's for our research. It helps us. Thank you. But speaking of helping us, if you like getting caught up on the news here with us every single week, we never miss a show. Clicking the like button's all you gotta do. It helps us. Thank you. That's it. I'm Jake Baldino. I hope you have a great weekend. Be safe. See you guys next time. Pizza's on me.